My name is Michael Isikoff. I'm an investigative correspondent at Newsweek. I've been here 14 years, 15 years actually. Day to day can be very different depending on what's breaking, what's happening, what's hot. And it also varies if I'm on the scent of a big story or not. If I am, I tend to be quite obsessive, can work around the clock, late at night, early in the morning, digging through material, hunting people down, finding the right sources, there's no sort of standard day, but absent that, I come into the office, I cruise the internet, I call sources, I make phone calls, I set up meetings and take it from there. Over the last few years, I've broken as many, if not more, stories on the Newsweek.com website than I have in the magazine, because that's just the nature of the beast these days. I'd gotten tipped off that there was a raid by the FBI at a house in Potomac, Maryland in August of 2007. Huge story at the time when it broke. The story itself led to investigations in Congress, new congressional legislation that governed the way surveillance could be conducted, domestic surveillance could be conducted in this country. New York Times won the Pulitzer for it. The authors of the piece wrote books, but the untold story was how the story came about, the story behind the story, as it were. And I told that tale in a cover piece for Newsweek last December. It was actually the product of about a year and a half of work. And it's a fascinating example of the way the process works. The higher the stakes story, the more controversial the story is, the more waves it might make, the more work you've got to do, the more careful you've got to be. If it's a potentially big story, you've got to be super careful, and you've got to go the extra mile in nailing every possible thread down. Good, solid, important information will break through. People know if you've got something really good. People know if you've got documents that can prove and settle a question of current controversy, or you've interviewed a key player who hasn't been spoken before, or if you've nailed down something that nobody else has. If it's important and it's really solid, people will know it. One sort of credo of every good investigative reporter is never take no for an answer. If you suspect there's a big story there, if the stakes are big, it's worth your effort to keep working, keep plugging, keep finding sources, keep finding people who might know even little pieces of the story, because from little pieces you can build much bigger ones.